On April 19th and 20th, 19th or 20th, depending upon where you live in the world, we're going to be having our first solar eclipse of the year. So right after the full moon in Libra on April 5th and 6th, we're going to start to get into the eclipse energy, because it's going to be starting up for us. The first eclipse of this year is going to be a new moon solar eclipse in Aries at 29 degrees. I would really be very interested to see if somebody can put that into a song. Now, this could easily happen at 0 degrees Taurus, but the sun and moon are just at 29 degrees of Aries. They do conjunct, and it forms an eclipse. Now, wait a second. You might as well be telling me something that is not realistic. I'm completely with you. The first time I heard an astrologer say, when I hear astrologers say, oh, there is an eclipse on April 20th, when I hear that, I am turned off by it, and I'm irritated by it. And it kind of irks me, because it just does not line up with what I believe in, and it doesn't line up with what I consider to be logical, and every time I hear that, I can become dogmatic mentally, and stubborn mentally, saying, no, eclipses only occur in the signs that the nodes are transiting through. Well, that's actually not the case, because, it's happening at 29 degrees of Aries, and the sun and moon move forward. The north node and south node move backward. So the sun and moon at 29 of Aries are very close to the north node and the south node at very early degree Taurus and Scorpio. And it's sort of an out of sign conjunction of the sun and moon to the north node. So it's it's not exactly, it is a north node eclipse, but it's not exactly occurring in the sign the north node is in, but it's close enough. It's really, really interesting. And, if I have to say so, I just think it's a straggler. But it is a new moon. It's the second new moon of Aries season. And, I have to be honest, it's really interesting to me. And, I really want to speak to how weird it is. But, that's the way it is. And I also want to speak to hearing pieces of information. And I just want to say this in general. Hearing pieces of information that you hear and interpret, and you immediately want to disbelieve, disagree with, and deny. Because you have a logic, and you have something that you've learned about, but then you hear another piece of information, and then when you hear it, all of a sudden you feel yourself shutting off to that. Why are you shutting off to this piece of information? Why are you not digesting and accepting it? Because apparently it doesn't line up with what you believe and what you know to be true. And that was the case for me. And, it's happening in Aries. I'm in Aries, so I might as well, be, the person to, initiate this and, speak to this. Because it's so important to just face the reality and just get out of denial. When you do the research and find the evidence, and there's enough, only enough barely clinging on to a thread of a piece of information that justifies this. And, it's really difficult when you have all these people saying something, all these astrologers saying this, and then you yourself are finding it very difficult to agree with it. And it's taken me a while, and I'm sort of, again, barely believing, but, I honestly, find it really interesting that, this is the way it is. And it's something that I'm really curious about. I'm very interested in. And, it's all based off of, geometry. You can have out of sign conjunctions or, squares because of the tightness of those particular aspects. So, this is happening in Aries. And Aries is cardinal fire. It's about initiating new things, and it's about action. It's about taking action, taking the lead in your life. And this can be sort of a karmic new seed that we're planting, and it's a foreshadowing of what we're going to be experiencing for a 1.5 year period of the North Node moving through the sign of Aries. And the South Node being exactly opposite, moving through the sign of Libra, because the nodes travel exactly opposite. So the 29 degrees can also bring out, sort of more shadow qualities of the sign. It definitely, there's more intense energy where things are, really heating up, and it's an intense Aries energy and a sense of urgency. Like, you need to do this now. You need to, go and have a new beginning. And it's a clear knowing with your inner knowing and intuition that this is what I need to do. This is where I need to go. This, is really a powerful new beginning, and that's what eclipses are, where you're getting change and you're transforming and evolving. Is really serves as a powerful new beginning in the sign of Aries, which deals with that pioneer sign, and it's sort of heralding us into the North Node being in Aries, but also, to tie this into, just the fact that Pluto is in early Aquarius and it's going to be squaring the new moon. And this is an out of sign square, so there's several, out of sign things happening where we can be kind of resistant to the change, to the transformation, but ultimately we are, willing to move into something new, even if it's really challenging, very difficult. But the square to Pluto's conflict when it comes to fixating and staying stuck in the old things that, ways of being that worked in the past. And also it could indicate being, really needing to be very, show your power, being very sensitive to power dynamics, because Pluto also deals with power and, the real need to, be in control and, stand in your power also. But that kind of, rebirth can, occur at this time. And, it's really, it's interesting what is going on. And then there is a proper eclipse happening on the 5th of May, which is a lunar eclipse in Scorpio, and that deals with kind of, needing to release old patterns that don't serve you. It is, elimination feelings of sort of the, being very tuned to the darker, deeper aspects of life, and, all the themes with, toxicity and being in situations where you feel disempowered and always needing, something done now, and always needing to go to extremes with something, and be more powerful. So those are all the things that lunar eclipse, which, is going to be happening. And, we're sort of on a, correction with the Mercury retrograde that's happening a day after the first eclipse. We're reevaluating and reviewing with, Taurus, dealing with our values. It, deals with our, what we truly need, what we truly want, what gives us stability and security, what nourishes us, what we find pleasurable, and, being grounded in the present moment. So is this new beginning right for us, and sort of, evaluating that new beginning that we sort of, collectively, possibly individually set at that new moon, based off of, on the 19th and 20th, based off of, where it's occurring in our charts, what house is that new moon on the 20th falling, and so, what is it falling in, what, especially the people born at, the later part of Aries, and especially the people with, the sun, moon, ascendant, the angles, your points, and your personal planets, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, at late degrees. I'd say, 26, 29 degrees of the cardinal signs: Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. And how, it's affecting them. Those people will be kind of more, impacted by this. But, that's just kind of, a general, just an overview of what this is about. And I may end up doing, a whole nother video about, just, these two eclipses. Because, there's a lot here, and I am making this video because I feel really excited and inspired to share this information, and hopefully you enjoyed. Bye for now, and I will see you in another video.